All right, guys. So in the car, we're out of the hotel now. So I figured, hey, let me do a little video in the car. A lot of people have been asking me to cover this or talk about this. I guess this is from CoryxKenshin. There's a little bit of screen glare for me, so yeah, I'm not super familiar with the guy. Obviously, very successful. But it says YouTube racism and favoritism. And we all know that if there is anything missing from pockets of the black community, it's a white guy giving his opinion on there's whatever issues going on there. So I don't know, man. People ask me to cover it, so I'm going to cover it. It's interesting. So I guess I'm looking at it more from like an educational perspective. But I just want to say one thing before I start watching it, and it's this comment right here. It says that this video was immediately flagged for ad sustainability. I wonder why. This is from him. He pinned this comment. Surely it isn't because it's YouTube being shown in a poor light. Surely not. So I just want you guys to understand, like, one thing. This is from my personal, like, anecdotal experience. And that is, like, if you ever put racism in the title of anything, they're going to instantly demonetize it. And then, like, usually at the end of my experience, they'll monetize it after like a manual review, which seems to have happened here because he doesn't say that it stayed demonetized. So, like, I don't think it has anything to do with you criticizing YouTube. You probably have a justifiable reason for like whatever grievance you have against YouTube. I'm just saying that like not everything is like a conspiracy theory. Like the other day, it wasn't even like last week. I covered Gideon and Ethan Klein, and I put in the title was like the racism of Ethan Klein ? Like it was like a little thing because that was the claim from Gideon, liberal racism, and it instantly got demonetized. So I just changed the title just to experiment with it, and like I changed the title to like something where like, oh, I forget what it was. You can go look it up, but it instantly got monetized. So like, yeah, man, quoting like racism, homophobia, sexism, these types of things will get your videos usually instantly demonetized. Sorry, my wife is sleeping next to me in the car. So that probably explains that at least the title part. I just wanted to bring that up. So let's get this started.
I'm going to try my best to articulate this video as thoroughly, as plainly, as eloquently as possible. I don't want there to be any lost context. I don't want to just look like I'm coming out of nowhere having a temper tantrum because these things are happening. The allegations I am levying towards YouTube are extremely serious, and I'm taking this video extremely seriously.
Okay.
YouTube,
I respect that.
You guys either play favorites, you are racist, or it's a mix of the two.
Hey, why not all? Why not the mix? I mean, I think they definitely play favorites to people that like make them more money, I guess.
These are the three options, YouTube. Which one is it? Here's my proof.
I wonder what he's got going on.
I've been doing YouTube a long time, okay? I never want to be that guy, oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, these issues are happening because I'm black. There have been certain situations that I looked at kind of funny. I said, it could be because of that, but nah, I'm not trying to press that. I don't want to build that narrative around my YouTube channel. This time, I can no longer let it slide. This is the situation. August 18th, I uploaded The Mortuary Assistant. A lot of you would know it got age restricted because.
Okay, is that the game with the spooky grandma and she kind of fight? I saw TikTok clips about it. I think I might have actually seen TikTok clips of him doing this. Somebody else must have uploaded it.
Following video I did, I let you guys know it got age restricted. YouTube didn't tell me why. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing The Mortuary Assistant, and only my video seemed to be age restricted. And I looked for like an hour, 2 hours. I was scrolling all different types of people's video. No one else's was age restricted.
You know what's interesting though? Like regardless of whether like there is or isn't a race part here, a huge issue with YouTube is they will not be upfront about anything, any restriction that they put on anybody's video. And so like, let's just say that after we watch this, it turns out maybe there isn't racism. Not that I'd be able to be like the fucking arbiter of whether that exists or not. There are clear grievances with YouTube. I remember putting up a video and it's actually a little funny. I put up a video. A lot of times when I put videos up, I put them up and then like I'll title them and I won't put a thumbnail up yet. So I put the video up and it has like an automatic thumbnail. It'll just be a bit from the video, just like a random part from the video. The random part of the video, it happened to just be a black girl that was wearing she was wearing clothes, but she had like her stomach showing. The video got demonetized. And I was like, what the fuck? So I reached out to them like, hey, what's the problem here? Can you tell me? Like, oh, we can't tell you anything. I was like, okay. So I re-uploaded the video and then I instantly put the thumbnail up that I made and it didn't get age restricted or it didn't get demonetized. So if anything, I don't know why it would censor the girl where like she wasn't wearing a bikini. She had like a, what is it called? A halter top? I don't know. She had like a top on that was covering everything, and you just happened to see some of her midsection. And she happened to be black, so maybe there is a racial aspect to it. But they're so indirect about the problem. And I've heard somebody, or they responded to like, the reason that we don't, it's a really dumb reason. They're like, the reason that we won't tell you specifically what it is because on the off chance that we don't get everything, and then it looks like we're signing off for like the other parts that we might have missed being okay. Some weird fucking person. It was weird. Some really weird. You can't do that to creators. You have to explain to them what they're doing wrong because most people don't want to do the wrong thing. And so even if it's something minor, people will be like, "Oh, I'll just won't do that in the future." Like a lot of times it's like it's like something that doesn't even hurt the video if you remove it. It's just like a small thing. But when you do this kind of shit, it fucks a lot of people. And I've been seeing a lot of people that have been like expressing frustrations on YouTube at least, or excuse me, on Twitter at least.
So I appealed the restriction. Hey guys, I'm not sure why mine got age restricted. Could you look into this? Appeal rejected. They doubled down. The policy team said, no, Corey, your video is restricted for good reason. We're not going to tell you why, but it's restricted. That's our final decision. I said, okay. I get with my YouTube rep. I send him an email. Hey, could you look at this? This is some weird stuff going on. Only my video got age restricted. My YouTube rep, who isn't on the policy team, he looked at my video and he said, hey, it could possibly be this part at the end where the woman was battling some depression. And I'm just going to leave it there. Lest this video also get age restricted just because I'm talking about it. So I looked at that part. The first thing I did was try to find other YouTubers who had that part, or at least a part similar. Now, Markiplier, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you, and I didn't mean to drag you into the middle of this. Your channel just happens to be a great reference point because A, you're a really big YouTuber, and B, you're not black. So I can look at your channel, and then I can look at my channel or look at anyone else's channel and make sure that the things in the games that you play, that they're enforcing the rules equally to everybody. So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3, and he had the same situation going on.
Oh, it's so funny because the first thing I thought of, like a lot of times when I watch videos, I'm like, okay, if this happens in this, one of the things I was going to be like, okay, my first question when he started doing this is like, oh, was the other person that you looked at that didn't get the restriction, were they a big YouTuber or a small YouTuber? And the first thing he did is like, sorry, Markiplier. That's what you have to do. You have to compare yourself to another person that's on your level in order to like claim this, because then people will be like, yeah, but maybe it's a smaller YouTuber, and smaller YouTubers sometimes will a lot of times go under the radar. A lot of times it has to do, honestly, a lot of times some of these things have to do with who's watching your video and how, like, the potential hate watchers on your video too. It's like the same thing with like Twitch. You know, like if you could do a bad thing as a small content creator, if you don't have negative eyes looking at you, then like, boom, they're not going to, obviously, even if you do a wrong thing, people won't be going after you. A lot of the way that these review processes works is based on like reports. So like, I just want to throw out the element there now. That like, it's possible that some of the people who watch him might actually be like hyper focused on watching him. Or some, they might hate watch him, or there might be a lot of people that are looking for his downfall in some capacity, and it may be independent of YouTube. But then again, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that's I'm just giving YouTube a lot of benefit of the doubt.
And his video wasn't age restricted. So I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted. Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that? He said, wow, Corey, that's some astute detective work. Let me send this to them and see what they say. What do you think happened after that? I'll give you a second.
Just absolutely nothing. They probably didn't get back to you.
They came back.
Oh.
And they removed my age restriction.
Wow. Wow. Okay. He had to go above and beyond just to get it to get removed. Why would that happen? Interesting. Okay. Because I'm trying to think, like, why wouldn't wouldn't the next step just be demonetizing Markiplier's video then? Right? If they were so adamant about age restricting his. But since Markiplier's doing it, it's okay. Okay. Interesting.
They took it off after they already rejected my appeal.
Yeah.
I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it. Now, my YouTube rep, he was excited. He was, oh, great. This is awesome. Look, Corey, they took the age restriction off.
Yeah.
I said, why? I expected them to triple down and give Markiplier an age restriction too. But they looked at Mark's video, and they used that to verify my innocence. So
I wonder, and like, I'm not trying to like be that guy, but I wonder if part of it has to do with like an inconsistency or a lack of training on the person, the manual reviewers, because it's not one guy reviewing everybody's video manually. You have like a team of different people, obviously. So there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people who do manual. Maybe there's less than that. I don't know. And so like, because I could see why one person would say like, hey, we should probably remove this because like they said something graphic about like depression or whatever at the end of the game. And then based on the parameters, they might say like, oh, I can understand why, like, hey, we'll remove this. This seems a little too much. While somebody else goes like, it's not a big deal. And then once they got this brought up to them, the double standard, they might be like, oh, you know, if we let Markiplier do it, we should let this guy do it too. I'm just saying, I don't know if, I mean, favoritism is probably more accurate, but let's see, there's more to the video. And so far, this
Well, I
is
send my
in
YouTube
depth, so
rep a lengthy email detailing my feelings about the
this is actually pretty damning for them. Inclined to believe racism and or favoritism plays part of this. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this situation, YouTube reversed the decision, double down after being present with. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna read it real quick before I was dropping next video more of the evidence. Felt treatment. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I felt treatment towards me from YouTube, especially when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row on multiple occasions, has been negative, and that my content is scrutinized heavier. So, like the positive, like I mean, the fact that you're trending for multiple days in a row might be the reason why people are looking at your content more. I don't know. So far, it just seems like the biggest issue with YouTube is their lack of transparency in the way that they review stuff, and their lack of consistency potentially when it comes to the way that they leverage punishment, or the way that they, like, you know, edit or monitor videos rather in different capacities, you know.
entire situation, feeling like there was some favoritism at play. There was either that or some racism at play, and that I would like to sit down with the policy team and figure out why my video was flagged in the first place. Actually, number one, was it automated or was it a human that age restricted it in the first place? Number two, who was the human reviewer? Because it's a human reviewer once you submit an appeal. Who was the human reviewer that doubled down and rejected my appeal? Number three, why did it take Markiplier's clip in order for them to reverse the decision? My YouTube rep gets back with me.
I mean, I think that that's perfectly reasonable. Very large content creator that makes them tons of money, asking very reasonable questions, even if it's not racist. They should do they should sit down with, have like a manager, bro. If let's say like some manager person at YouTube that like oversees like whatever department sat down and say, hey, listen, like we're really sorry, we fucked up. There was an inconsistency in the way that we leverage criticism or leverage. It was like an inconsistency in the way that we like enforce our rules. Like it wasn't intentional. We don't want to make you feel like this, that. If it was an honest mistake, you know, like, have you ever gone to like a restaurant and somebody fucks up really bad, like the waitress, and like they don't even mean to do it, and you're like, fuck, can I talk to the manager? And this bitch is snoring next to me. Sorry. And the manager comes to you and is like, I'm really sorry. There was a delay in the back. Let me do this for you. Let me do that. I'll give you like a free, you know, ice cream. And I'm like, of course, my fat ass wants free ice cream. Right. And then afterwards, like, okay, honest mistake. Sometimes it's all it takes. But now, like, we have this weird thing where it's like, yeah, just leave it. Let him just assume, and we don't care. Why wouldn't he make this assumption? Like, this is obviously a very frustrating situation where there is a very clear double standard, whether it's intentional or not. Is almost irrelevant. Like YouTube, you should still be trying to do the right thing and be like, hey, we fucked up. Let me just like talk to you one-on-one. But YouTube won't talk to people. That's the big problem. Like, you know, if I feel like YouTube isn't as bad of a platform as people want to say that it is, but it's because of their lack of transparency that makes people feel so like ostracized or outcasted by YouTube. But, you know, like, if there should be a little bit more interaction between different people, especially for like the creators who, you know, pull a little bit more, not to push favoritism, but like there should be like a thing. And like I understand that they have a YouTube partner manager or whatever, but like that person seems to be like almost independent-ish, you know? So
he wants to hop on a call. We get on the phone.
Oh, good, okay.
For about 10, 15 minutes, and I tell him, I've been feeling like this for a long time. I've been feeling like every single time that I come back to YouTube, I'm #1 trending for a few days, and then they find some arbitrary issue. They nitpick and they try and find something that they can incriminate me for and try to push me down. You don't believe me? What happened the last time I came back and I was #1 trending for like a week? They copyright struck me for a video that was in 2019 or something like that. Why don't these issues ever crop up when I'm not uploading? I mean, I'm not on YouTube like 9 months out of the year. Nothing ever happens until I come back and I start uploading again, and I'm getting my numbers, they're climbing, they're exploding, I'm #1 trending, and then they're like, hey, we need to stop him. We need to, like, this black man, he's getting too many views, he's getting too much exposure, too much activity. Hold that thought. Let's get back to the current situation.
Yeah,
so
I wonder what their answer is, because like, I mean, like it sounds like very far-fetched to me, although he's making a very compelling case. He's making a very compelling case. I wonder what their answer is, because that is really weird if he consistently comes back. What's up, baby? What are you looking at? Shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding. I love you so much. You okay? Okay. Anyway, if he keeps leaving and coming back and popping back up, why is this happening? Yeah. Okay.
Me, he's going to continue this dialogue with the policy team and try to get some answers to those 3 questions that I had.
Okay,
so another day,
fair.
another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the video.
What?
They re-age restricted the video. I say,
what?
No way did they do that. I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted. They got caught with their pants down.
Okay, so then I guess they got the age restriction right the first time. Damn. I guess you shouldn't push to that far, huh? But anyway, okay. So I guess so far it seems like they have like an inconsistency in the way that they enforce stuff, and then it shows that they have a favoritism towards Markiplier. Okay.
They got called out, and then they had to go back and say, "Oh, whoa, okay. We see the narrative that he's kind of pushing here. We need to take some steps back. We need to just age restrict them both and be done with it." You thought that I wasn't gonna like talk about this, make a video?
Well, they're both like equally bad. Whether they both age restrict, you know what I mean? Like at this point, this doesn't help make them look any better. I mean, this makes them look worse, in my opinion.
About it, you realize how bad this looks for you, YouTube. You realize how unfair this comes across. I, in all my years, have never seen a video get age restricted, de-age restricted, and then age restricted again. Have any of you ever seen that happen before? They saw that I saw that there was some unfair stuff going on, so then they tried to appease me by de-age restricting the video. I say, wait, why are you doing that? Because I sent Markiplier's clip. And then they say, oh, okay, well, let's just age restrict them both. Why is my channel so much more heavily scrutinized than my peers? My peers, and when I say peers, I mean people around my level, around my view count, just to keep it simple. Why is my channel so much more thoroughly scrutinized? Especially so when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row, which I've done multiple times. Yeah. And every single time I start to get an uptick in traction, an uptick in activity, here comes YouTube coming through.
I mean, obviously, he's just like a gaming YouTuber, right? Like, he doesn't even talk about controversial topics, does he? Not that he never does, but that's my understanding, right? So I'm very new. So like, why would they be hyper fixated on what he's doing? He's a fucking gaming YouTuber. Like, it's not like okay. Sorry, I'm like very slow internet. I'm in a parking lot. Right? Elden Ring, yeah, Elden Ring, Rage, gaming. Seems like mostly gaming. Okay, yeah, it seems like gaming. Yeah, so it's a little weird that okay. Sure.
Hey, let's get him for that video from 2019. Yeah, you see this, Corey? No, this is bad. It wasn't bad the 9 months that I was off the platform. It was only bad when I got back and I was #1 trending. This situation was only
not to, like, I guess the only argument that YouTube would have at this point is like, yeah, once you came back and your video, my understanding, and like, I don't think anybody purely understands the algorithm. My understanding is it's possible. It's like, okay, he came back. His video is doing really well, obviously, because he gets a lot of views. He's a good content creator. And then that pushes other videos through the algorithm, especially after you watch that viral video. And then more people are watching that. And then there's more eyes on it. And maybe there's more reports. And maybe there's, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing I could think of. But that's being, you know, obviously I'm playing a little bit, you know, it's very charitable to YouTube, but I'm just bringing it up for context of possibility. I'm not saying it is what's happening.
Bad because I've been #1 trending since I got back. Every other YouTuber has uploaded the Mortuary Assistant. And now they're about to start putting in some age restrictions because I called them out on some unfair behavior. Now, I realize that when you call someone a racist, that's a very, very serious accusation. And for that matter, how do you expressly prove that someone is a racist? I mean, unless they're spamming the N-word in the chat. How do you really know? And admittedly, I cannot 100% prove
Well, actually, I can prove it because I actually own YouTube, so now I know it's racist. Just kidding.
That race had everything to do with this.
Okay.
But I can tell you the people on that policy team, those shadow people that are anonymous and get to enact their will however they see fit.
Say is that racists do call black people shadow people. Okay, I know that for a fact. All right, maybe you're the racist. Just kidding.
How can we be sure that they take a black person's video, their will, however they see fit? How can we be sure that they take a...
Sorry, I just want to... How can we be sure that they don't do this? I mean, okay.
A black person's video and a white person's video, and it can be the same exact video, and they restrict the black person's video, but not the white person's video.
Yeah.
I feel I've been mistreated for a long time. I mean, even when we hit 10 million subscribers and I was supposed to get my diamond play button and there was no correspondence. These situations always coincide with an uptick of growth. And it always just comes off like, we can't let this black guy get too high up. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm telling you, that's how it comes off.
I honestly, listen, here's the thing. I doubt from like a pure business perspective, because business doesn't really care about if you're black or white. I don't think YouTube's like, oh man, a black guy is trending. We have to like deplatform this guy. That's not really how it would work. I think that, you okay? Go ahead. I think that if anything, it's more likely that it's like the manual reviewers that like potentially like listen, if we get like really deep into these things, if you look up, there's studies that talk about how like white people who look at other white people, or white people, everybody of the same race will look at somebody else who's unfamiliar of the same race, and they'll be more charitable to them versus people that they don't know, right? So like a white person will see another white person, they'll think of them as more human than like a black person they don't know. Same thing, like a black person will look at a black person as more human, and it's probably more human's bad word, but than a white person. And once you get to know them personally, that changes. Now, I know people probably know who this guy is, but that doesn't mean that they know them personally. So it's possible that like the reviewer is a white person, and they're like, and maybe subconsciously they're less charitable to him because he's black. Maybe the reviewers are from, I don't know, some like racist area. You know, there's a lot of let's be honest, there's a lot of anti-blackness across the world. Realistically, whether people want to hear it or not. And so maybe it's like a reviewer from another, I don't know if they outsource their review team. Maybe it's a reviewer from like another country that's racist. Maybe it's a reviewer from a Western country that's racist. Maybe it's a massive coincidence, though I doubt that. But it's interesting because I would expect them to play favorites on any content creator who makes them a lot of money. And this guy gets tons of views, so I would expect them to be more charitable or equally as charitable to other creators, because it's like, this guy's making us money, maybe we'll bypass this rule, maybe we'll do. But there's definitely seems to be rather clear that that's not really happening. Again, maybe your best argument is that there's more people reporting his videos. That could be a possibility as well. Than other people's videos, because people hate watch him more, or I don't really know. It's one of those things where as you're listening to me, it's like, what, all this is so fucking obscure, but like these aren't definitive answers, regardless of the hyper specifics and the nuances. It seems like it's very clear that he's getting hit harder than other people for some unexplained reason, even if it's not racism. I mean, we would expect, like, what is YouTube going to do about it? That's really the question. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, like, what are they going to do about it to rectify the situation for him? Because like they're really just like shitting on a content creator that people clearly like a lot. He's got like 12 million or 13, or he's got a ton of subscribers. He gets a ton of viewership. So like, why is this happening? What's the explanation? You know what I mean? Even it doesn't even matter if it's racist or not. There's something clearly, it's in my opinion, going on here that's wrong, and like treating him with like a lack of favorability.
I don't see any other YouTuber that gets #1 trending many times, and then all of a sudden they're getting age restricted and they're getting copyright strikes and all of that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Point them out. I want to see them. I'll retract this entire video. I'll make a public apology to YouTube. I have no problem. My dad taught me, if you make a mistake, be a man and address it and apologize. I will do that, no problem. But to me, you know what comes off? It comes off whenever CoryxKenshin starts doing some crazy numbers or getting on trending too much. We got to find something. We got to get him for something. He's got to have done something. I mean, I bleep out cuss words in video games. Like, I literally, this is the YouTuber that you want to have smoke with and have problems with. I believe there is some racism involved within the policy team, and YouTube in general really doesn't care about black people like that. They got their favorite creators.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think that YouTube gives a fuck about anybody for anything, right? Unless they're making the money. Although, again, we talked about this. He's making the money. They still don't seem to care. Yeah, okay. I mean, fuck.
Log out of YouTube. Log out and go to YouTube. You'll see the people on the front page every single day. You'll see the favorites. Count how many are black. Count how many.
Listen, I remember, and maybe this is like a personal thing, but before, when I was like, I'm going to talk about this video. And I looked up YouTube For You page or whatever, like YouTube trending page. And I can't do it on my computer because I'm not home and all that. But it was like a lot of rap maybe that's just YouTube thinks I like rap. I don't know why they think that. I'm incredibly racist. I hate rap. I'm just kidding. I don't really like listen to rap though. Um, this is trending. Then Chris Brown is like the next thing. Then like some fucking weird sport. Then NASCAR. No, wait, it's just cars in a music video. Um, I don't know if they're black. Uh, I don't know. Like it's a lot of the YouTube shorts. There's Pinocchio. There's one. This weird girl from *Handmaid's Tale*. I don't know. Black guy sitting in a chair. I don't know. There's another. This is. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy. There's Tov and Moist Critical. Good for him, man. Maybe this is all different for people. A lot of rap. Why do you guys think I like rap? Well, there's Blackpink. That's not rap. Why do they think I like rap? I mean, I like Childish Gambino, but people tell me that that's rap for white people, which is kind of fucked up. Because I mean, whatever. This isn't the conversation we need to be having. Anyway, let's go.
Are of people of color. So then what does YouTube try and do? They try and
Oh, I guess those aren't YouTubers. Those are like fucking artists. So I guess that wouldn't really fall into the category he's talking about.
YouTube black. They try and give us a spotlight. And
I will say one thing. I wonder how many of what that if that has to do with YouTube, like a oppressing or pushing down black viewership, or maybe people just aren't enjoying the content that some black content creators are putting out. Only because like we had this conversation on TikTok for a long time where it's like Charlie D'Amelio's #1. But now if you look at I think the #1 is Cabby Lame, which is a black guy. And like it seemed like maybe it had less to do with the algorithm being racist or more to do with like maybe people liked seeing more white people. Maybe there's more white people viewing for a longer period of time, or maybe there's a whole like super woke conversation to have about like Western beauty standards being pushed on the world and white people seeming more like acceptable or friendly due to that. That I know this is getting like super woke. I don't want to get into the whole fucking thing, but there's so many different nuanced possibilities here. I mean, it's possible that they're just like, yeah, fuck this black guy. I'm just saying, like, I think that there's a lot of areas that are complicated, and again, the biggest issue is like a lack of transparency from YouTube when it comes to their enforcement of their policy.
do you know how condescending and patronizing that is? Oh, yeah, let's give a spotlight to these black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up so they can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted, and then, oh no, he's on to us. Okay, we gotta age restrict them both. Fake! It's fake! That's what it is. I am deeply sorry that this came off as a rant. You know, in the beginning, I wanted to keep my emotions out of it.
No, man, this is actually, I was coming into this and I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting me to be convinced, like, at least to some degree. Like, I mean, I don't know if, like, I'm a white guy, so what do I know? But I don't know if I necessarily would say that what's going on here is racist, but there's certainly an issue when it comes to targeting him. And the point about how, like, oh, you're making this whole, like, YouTube black thing, try to, like, push black creators, like, you know, because you think that they can't, like, stand on their own merit, but then, like, you have a very successful black content creator and you just don't give a fuck about them. Like, why wouldn't you... Like, you're not treating that person equally. That, regardless of whether it's race or not, is irrelevant because that's what it seems like here. At the end of the day, they're not treating him the same. And, like, I mean, racism does seem like a reasonable, answer to the question. It may not be the answer to the question, but, like, that is very weird. Why? Like, why? Why? Yeah, I mean, why?
I wanted to stay logical, stay on the things that I could prove. I gave you the facts, but it also turned into me venting the emotions that I've had built up around YouTube. Ironic that I have to upload this on YouTube, but where else am I going to upload it? You know, I worked hard. I built this community from the ground. It's taken me over a decade to do. And I would have just hoped that the playing field was fair and that, hey, if I did something bad, then everybody else who also did that thing should get punished too. Is that unreasonable? I have no problem being punished. I have no problem if I break a rule that I get punished for it and I learn. But when you start, like, when it's targeted, when you're doing things only because I'm, like, getting bigger, or I don't know how it always seems to coincide with that situation. But that's just what it is. Now, if my YouTube channel gets shadow banned, or they, like, you know, they start, like, not sending my videos out to my subscribers, or or you know, in a couple months from now, y'all just stop seeing my videos. We know why. We know why. I mean, those shadows behind the scenes, they control it all. They control all of it. If they don't want my channel, they could terminate it right now. They could hide my videos. They could
I mean, that would certainly martyr this guy, and YouTube would be fucked if they did that.
shadow ban me, not send my videos out to anybody. That's why I thought long and hard before I recorded this. But as one of the biggest black creators on the platform, I want you to hear it from my mouth that there is some shady business going on behind the scenes at YouTube.
If this video is solid, man. I mean, I'm fucking certainly more convinced than I thought I was going to be after watching this. What I will say, just to be a little charitable to YouTube, is this is like one of the things on the trending. It's like #1, at least for me. I don't know how it works. I'm fucking old. I'm a boomer. I don't get it. So it seems like they're not trying to suppress this, but hopefully they fix this and get this shit handled. And like overall, just have better communication with their content creators. Also, I'm not gonna have the ending credits with this one for like Patreon. Sorry guys, it's just like I'm like in the car. It should be back up and rolling for the videos after this. But thanks for watching, and hopefully this guy gets the answers that he should definitely be getting.